The new Trioplan 35mm f2.8 made by Meyer Optik Gorlitz is a lens that took me some time to truly understand it. This lens is very unique and it has a rendering of the images that I never saw in any other 35mm lens I've tried. So if you like the idea to have a 35mm lens with a very strong character, I think that you should really watch this video until the end. For street photography and reportage, a small and compact 35mm lens is a perfect match for our cameras. And considering that this lens has also a short minimum focus distance of 0.2 meters, it is very versatile and great for shooting nature and portraits as well. This lens is available both for all DSLR and mirrorless camera mounts, and like all of the Meyer Optik lenses, it is fully manual, without CPU contacts to communicate EXIF data with the camera. This lens has 12 declicked aperture blades that are helping to create a really smooth and rounded bokeh at any f-stop, and the f-stop range is going from f2.8 to f22. The focus ring has 270 degrees of rotation and it takes 52mm filters. This lens is not weather sealed, but after using it for a few months I don't have any dust particle inside the lens. Anyway, keep in mind that unless you are buying an IP certificate lens, any weather-sealed lens can have dust or water infiltration inside the barrel or between the glass elements, and it will be really difficult to service it, while a non-weather-sealed lens, it's pretty easy to let it clean by a camera technician. Talking about the image quality, when used at f2.8, this lens suffers from a unique golden aspherical aberration all over the place. It has low contrast, but it is also pretty sharp at close and minimum close distances, while from medium to far distances the lens seems to be less sharp. The cool thing about this behavior is that this combination of problems will transform your photos in something very unique and magical at all the distances. So you will be able to create really unique images that haven't been seen much around. Is that a look that at some point can be too much for your eyes and you can get tired of it? That's possible, like with every lens that has a very strong character. But considering that this lens will perform very good in almost every aspect from f5.6, from close focus to infinity, this lens is very versatile because you can play both with artistic pictures, but also with more normal looking images. When stopping down this lens to f5.6, the lens will still have some swirl in the bokeh that will look very interesting in landscape photography. The famous soap bubble bokeh is not that strong and visible in this lens like we are used to see in the Trioplan lenses or on the Trioplan 100mm f2.8, but the bokeh balls are pretty nice with this 35mm lens when focusing close to the subject. The color rendition of this lens is also very good, with a great separation of the tonalities. The distortion is well controlled, so this lens will render the faces very nicely. This lens is suffering from focus breathing, but considering the size and the weight of the lens, I wouldn't care much about it. Just frame your shot on tripod a bit wider and you can easily fix this problem in post. I've already made a video tutorial about it that you can check. This lens is suffering also from blue and golden longitudinal chromatic aberrations, but I don't see any purple fringing in the plane of focus. The transition from focus to defocus areas are very smooth and progressive, and in the background the bokeh doesn't really look sharp like we are used to see in the Trioplan lenses. Talking about lens flares, this lens has very beautiful rainbow colored flares. For example, if we frame a strong source of light in front of our lens, we will get a nice rainbow ring flare. But if we let the strong source of light hit the lens from the side, we will get a strong and edgy flare in a big portion of our image that we can use for creative shots. Overall, I'm extremely happy with this lens. The images I'm getting with it are very unique and beautiful, even when using it with my ultra-wide-angle adapter from Snyder, to get an equivalent field of view of a 24mm lens, because at the moment there is nothing wider than 30mm lens in the Meyer Optik lineup of lenses. Talking about anamorphic adapters, this lens is a little bit too wide to test it with my Isco Ultra Star. The vignetting was just too much and I don't think it's usable at all, so I didn't run any tests with this combination. Sorry about it, but it is what it is. I think that this Trioplan 35mm f2.8 is a very nice creative lens to have in your kit of lenses. If you are looking for perfect images from center to corner wide open, or if you are planning to use this lens also for serious astrophotography, maybe you should look in something else. But for creative shots, this lens is probably the most interesting 35mm lens I've played with. Anyway, in the near future I'll post a video about the set of lenses I have from Meyer Optik, and I will also compare them with other lenses I own, like Leica R, the Zeiss Classic, and the Russian lenses. So you will truly understand why I really love this set of lenses from Meyer Optik. Anyway, this is it for today, guys. I hope that this video was helpful. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Ciao!